Cricket in Nepal didn't start in a dusty field or a village lane. No, its story begins in a much grander setting. Imagine this. It's the 1920s. The Rana dynasty is ruling Nepal. The country is mostly closed off to the world, but the Rana elites, they had connections. They would travel to England and India for their education. And what did they bring back with them? Not just fancy degrees and new ideas. They brought back a love for a game played with a bat and ball, a game called cricket. It was a gentleman's game, and it fit perfectly with their aristocratic lifestyle. It was exotic, it was sophisticated, and it was theirs. This was the very first chapter of cricket in Nepal, written inside the walls of royal palaces. Think about it. While the rest of the country was busy with their daily lives, a small, exclusive group was learning the art of the cover drive and the googly. This wasn't cricket for the masses. This was a pastime, a hobby for the ruling class. The first cricket matches in Nepal were probably played on beautifully manicured lawns with players in pristine white kits. It was more of a social event than a competitive sport. The game was a symbol of status, a way to show that you were part of a modern, educated circle. It was a secret language spoken only by a few. The sound of leather hitting willow echoed not in stadiums, but in the private gardens of the powerful. This is where the seed of Nepali cricket was planted. The Ranas didn't just play the game, they embraced its culture. They understood its nuances, its unwritten rules of sportsmanship and fair play. For them, it was a connection to the British Empire and the larger world. They were the pioneers, the first ones to swing a bat on Nepali soil. They probably never imagined that this exclusive hobby would one day become the nation's heartbeat. They were just having fun, enjoying a little piece of England in the Himalayas. But in doing so, they unknowingly started a revolution, a sporting revolution that would take decades to unfold, but one that would eventually capture the imagination of millions of Nepalese. So the next time you see a young kid in Nepal hitting a tennis ball with a makeshift bat, remember where it all began. It began with the kings and princes. It began as a sport of luxury. The journey from those palace grounds to the crowded streets is the real story of Nepali cricket. It's a story of how a game crossed social barriers and became a source of national pride. The first innings was played by the elite, but they set the stage for a much bigger, much more exciting match that was yet to come. The foundation was laid, and it was only a matter of time before the rest of Nepal wanted to play too. For many years, cricket remained a well-kept secret. It was a game confined within the high walls of the palaces in Kathmandu. If you weren't part of the Rana family or their inner circle, you probably didn't even know what cricket was. The equipment was expensive and hard to get. The rules were complicated. It was a world away from the simple, traditional games played by ordinary people in the villages and towns. Cricket was like a private club, and membership was by birthright only. The common person had no access to it. They could only hear stories, perhaps, of this strange game played by the rich and powerful. The matches played during this era were friendly, but they were also a display of power and prestige. Different factions of the Rana family would form their own teams. Winning wasn't just about scoring more runs, it was about pride. These games were social gatherings, a chance for the elite to mingle and network. The players were not professional athletes. They were aristocrats playing a sport they had learned abroad. The cricket they played was leisurely, a far cry from the fast-paced, high-pressure game we see today. It was a part of their lifestyle, like horse riding or hunting. It was a symbol of their separation from the general population. This period, from the 1920s to the late 1940s, was a time of incubation. The game was being kept alive, but it wasn't growing. It was like a plant in a small pot, unable to spread its roots. There were no official tournaments, no coaching camps, no pathway for a talented young player from a humble background to get involved. If you wanted to play cricket, you needed to have the right connections. This exclusivity meant that the sport couldn't develop a popular following. It was a beautiful game, but it was being watched from a distance. The soul of Nepali cricket was waiting to be discovered by the people of Nepal. However, this period was not without its importance. It established the game in the country, even if it was on a very small scale. The Ranas created the first teams and played the first matches. They introduced the vocabulary of cricket, terms like wicket, boundary, and hauzat, to the Nepali landscape. They were the first custodians of the sport. While they held it close, they also protected it. Without this royal patronage, cricket might never have arrived in Nepal at all. Their exclusive club was the first chapter, a necessary one before the book could be opened to everyone. The stage was set for a big change. The year 1951 was a game changer, not just for Nepal's politics, but for its cricket too. The Rana regime ended and democracy was introduced. Suddenly, the country opened up to the world. The high walls of the palaces came down, both literally and figuratively. And with them, the secrets of cricket spilled out onto the streets. The game was no longer the exclusive property of the elite. It started to spread, slowly at first, but with unstoppable momentum. It was like a melody that had been trapped in a room and was now floating out for everyone to hear. The people of Nepal were ready to dance to its rhythm. The first places to embrace cricket were the schools and colleges in Kathmandu. Students saw it as a new, exciting and modern sport. They started forming their own teams, using whatever equipment they could find. A plank of wood became a bat, a tennis ball wrapped in tape became the cricket ball, and a pile of bricks became the wickets. This is where the real passion for cricket was born. It was in these schoolyards and public grounds known as tundikals that the game found its true home. It was no longer about status. It was about the joy of playing, the thrill of competition, and the spirit of teamwork. This grassroots movement was powerful. The game spread from the capital city to other towns and villages. People learned the rules by watching others play or by listening to radio commentary from India. Cricket became a part of the local culture. Every open space, from a small alley to a large field, was turned into a cricket pitch. The sport's accessibility was its biggest strength. You didn't need a fancy stadium or expensive gear to play. All you needed was a few friends, a bat, a ball, and a dream. The sound of kids shouting out and celebrating a wicket became common across the country. This was a crucial period of transformation. Cricket was shedding its elitist skin and becoming a people's game. It was a bottom-up revolution, driven by the passion and enthusiasm of ordinary Nepalis. The game unified communities. It gave young people a positive outlet for their energy. It wasn't organized, it wasn't professional, but it was pure. This raw, street-level love for the sport created a huge pool of talent, a generation of players who learned the game in its toughest, most basic form. This foundation of popular support would be vital for the future success of the national team. The seed planted by the Ranas was finally starting to grow into a mighty tree. As the love for cricket grew, it became clear that passion alone was not enough. The sport needed structure, organization, and a formal body to guide its development. This led to a landmark moment in 1946, even before the Democratic Revolution, with the establishment of the Cricket Association of Nepal, or CAN. However, it was after 1951 that CAN truly began its work. Its initial role was to formalize the game, organize local tournaments, and create a more structured environment for players. This was the first step in transforming cricket from a street pastime into a national sport. The dream was no longer just to play, but to compete. The next big step was to take Nepali cricket onto the world stage. To do this, Nepal needed recognition from the international cricket community. The journey began with joining the regional cricket body. In 1988, a truly historic year, Nepal became an affiliate member of the International Cricket Council, or ICC. This was a massive achievement. It was like getting a passport to the world of international cricket. It meant that Nepal was officially on the global cricket map. It opened the door to funding, technical assistance, and most importantly, the opportunity to participate in ICC-recognized tournaments. The dream of seeing the Nepali flag at a world event was now a real possibility. With ICC membership came new responsibilities. CAN had to work on developing the game at all levels, from grassroots to the senior team. They started organizing more domestic tournaments, creating a pipeline for talented players to be identified and nurtured. the focus shifted towards building a competitive national team that could represent the country with pride. In 1996, Nepal took another giant leap by becoming an associate member of the Asian Cricket Council, or ACC. This allowed them to compete regularly against other developing cricket nations in Asia, providing valuable experience and exposure. This period of formalization was the bridge between the chaotic, passionate street cricket era and the professional era that was to come. It was a time of building institutions and forging international relationships. The administrators and officials at CAN, often working as volunteers, played a crucial role. They laid the groundwork for future success. They navigated the complex world of sports governance and secured a place for Nepal at the international table. Without the formation of CAN and its entry into the ICC and ACC, the incredible journey of Nepali cricket would not have been possible. The foundations for the house were now firmly in place. The early 2000s, really marked the arrival of Nepal on the international cricket scene, and it was the youth team that led the charge. The under-19 team, often called the Young Rhinos, became the nation's pride. Their incredible performances at the under-19 World Cups announced to the world that Nepal was, a serious cricketing nation. In 2000, they qualified for their first ever under-19 World Cup, but they didn't just participate. They competed fiercely. This was a team of young, fearless cricketers who were not intimidated by the big names. They played with a passion and skill that, honestly, won hearts all over the world. The success story, it just continued. The under-19 team went on to qualify for multiple World Cups throughout the decade. Their most memorable achievement came in the 2006 Under-19 World Cup, where they won the Plate Championship. This was a huge victory, folks. They defeated test-playing nations like New Zealand and South Africa along the way. It was, honestly, an unbelievable feat for a small developing cricket nation. Players like Kanishka Chaugai, the captain, became national heroes. This success proved that the raw talent from the streets, when combined with proper coaching and structure, could really produce world-class players. So what was the secret to their success? Well, it was a combination of factors. There was a golden generation of talented young players who had grown up playing tough, competitive cricket. They were hungry to prove themselves on the world stage. They were also guided by some excellent coaches who, really understood how to get the best out of them. The focus on youth cricket by CAN and the ACC paid off handsomely. The under-19 team became a symbol of hope. Their victories gave the entire nation a reason to believe that the dream of playing at the senior level against the best teams in the world was achievable. The success of the youth team had a massive impact back home. It inspired a whole new generation of kids to take up the sport. Suddenly, every young cricketer in Nepal wanted to be like the heroes of the under-19 team. The media started giving more coverage to cricket. The government and sponsors began to take notice. The under-19 team was not just winning matches, they were building the future of Nepali cricket. They were the trailblazers, the pioneers who showed the way. Their legacy is the strong foundation of talent that continues to emerge from Nepal today. They proved that with heart and hard work, David could indeed take on Goliath. While the under-19 team was making waves, the senior national team, known as the Rhinos, was on its own steady climb. The journey was long and hard, filled with heartbreaking losses and moments of frustration. But the team never gave up. They kept fighting, learning, and improving. The players were driven by a powerful desire to emulate the success of their junior counterparts and make their nation proud. They were playing for more than just themselves. They were playing for the millions of fans who followed every ball with bated breath. The passion of the supporters was the fuel that kept the team going. The breakthrough moment, the one that every Nepali cricket fan will remember forever, came in 2013. Nepal qualified for the 2014 ICC World 2020 in Bangladesh. This was it, the big league. For the first time, Nepal would be competing in a senior men's World Cup. The entire country erupted in celebration. It was a moment of pure joy and national pride. The team, led by the charismatic captain Paras Khadka, had achieved the impossible. They had put Nepal on the world map of senior cricket. Going to the World T20 was not just a victory, it was the fulfillment of a dream that had started decades ago in the palace grounds. And they didn't just make up the numbers in Bangladesh, they played with courage and skill. They defeated Hong Kong and Afghanistan, two of their biggest rivals, in the group stage. They announced their arrival with a bang. The world took notice of this small Himalayan nation with a big heart for cricket. This performance gave the team immense confidence. It proved that they belonged at the highest level. The World T20 qualification was a turning point. It opened up new opportunities and brought more attention and resources to Nepali cricket. The next major milestone came in 2018. After years of hard work and consistent performances in the ICC World Cricket League, Nepal achieved one-day international status. This was a monumental achievement. It meant that Nepal was now among the top cricket nations in the world outside the test-playing group. Gaining ODI status was the culmination of years of effort from players, coaches, and administrators. It provided financial stability from the ICC and a regular schedule of matches against other top associate nations. It was a reward for the relentless pursuit of excellence and a promise of a brighter future for the sport in the country. A team's success is never just about what happens on the field. It's built on the shoulders of dedicated individuals who work tirelessly behind the scenes. In Nepal's cricket story, there are many such heroes. The most prominent among them is Paras Khadka. He was more than just a captain. He was a leader, a mentor, and the face of Nepali cricket for over a decade. His aggressive batting, clever captaincy, and inspiring personality united the team and the nation. He led Nepal to the World T20 and to ODI status. His contribution is immeasurable. He is, without a doubt, the greatest cricketer Nepal has ever produced. But Paras was not alone. There was a core group of senior players who formed the backbone of the team for years. Players like Gyanendra Malla, the dependable batsman and later captain, Shakti Gauchan, the wily left-arm spinner, and Basant Regmi, the consistent wicket-taking machine. These players were the pillars of the team. They experienced the highs and lows together. They sacrificed personal ambitions for the team's cause. And now, a new generation is taking over, led by talents like the phenomenal leg spinner Sandeep Lamichhane, who became the first Nepali player to play in the Indian Premier League, and the dynamic young captain Rohit Paudel. Behind every great team is a great coach. Nepal has been fortunate to have some excellent international coaches who have transformed the team's fortunes. Pubudu Dasanayake, the former Sri Lankan cricketer, is a name that is revered in Nepali cricket circles. He instilled a professional culture, improved the team's tactics, and gave them the self-belief to win crucial matches. He was the architect behind the World T20 qualification. Other coaches like Dav Watmore and Monty Desai have also played significant roles in shaping the team's skills and mindset, bringing modern coaching techniques and a global perspective to the setup. We must also acknowledge the role of the administrators and the fans. The officials at the Cricket Association of Nepal, despite facing many challenges over the years, have worked to provide a platform for the players. And the fans, oh the fans, they are the 12th man of the team. Whether the match is in Nepal or in a foreign land, they turn up in huge numbers, with their flags and their chants. Their unwavering support is a constant source of motivation for the players. This combination of iconic players, visionary coaches, dedicated administrators, and passionate fans is the magic formula behind the rise of Nepali cricket. For a long time, Nepal's cricket ambitions were held back by a lack of proper infrastructure. The team had the talent, but they didn't have the facilities. The Tribhuvan University International Cricket Ground in Kirtipur was the only international standard stadium in the country. It has been the home of Nepali cricket, witnessing countless historic moments. However, for the sport to grow, one stadium was not enough. The need for more grounds, better practice facilities, and cricket academies was urgent. Building the infrastructure was the next big challenge in Nepal's cricket journey. In recent years, there has been a positive shift. New cricket grounds are being developed across the country. The Gautam Buddha International Cricket Stadium, a project initiated through public funding in Chitwan, is a symbol of this new ambition. Although it has faced challenges, the dream of a state-of-the-art, multi-purpose stadium is a powerful one. Smaller grounds in cities like Pokhara, Vairahawa and Dangadi are also being upgraded. This decentralization of facilities is crucial. It means that talented players from outside the capital city will have a better chance to train and develop their skills. Another game-changing development has been the emergence of professional franchise T20 leagues, like the Everest Premier League and the Dangadi Premier League. These leagues have been a massive success. They bring in international players, attract huge crowds, and provide a fantastic platform for local Nepali players to showcase their talent. The leagues have professionalized the domestic structure, offering players better pay and more competitive cricket. They have also created a vibrant cricket economy, attracting sponsors and media attention. This has been a huge boost for the sport's popularity and visibility. Alongside the big stadiums and flashy leagues, the focus on grassroots cricket remains vital. The Cricket Association of Nepal, along with various private academies, is working to find and nurture the next generation of stars. Talent hunt programs, school-level tournaments and coaching camps are being organized more frequently. The goal is to create a sustainable system that keeps producing talented cricketers. The combination of top-down infrastructure development and bottom-up grassroots programs is the key to long-term success. Building the hardware, meaning stadiums, and the software, meaning players, simultaneously is how Nepal will build its cricketing dream. The journey of Nepali cricket from the palaces to the world stage has been nothing short of a fairy tale. But this story is far from over. The future looks incredibly bright. The biggest asset Nepal has is its seemingly endless supply of young, passionate talent. In every corner of the country, there are kids playing cricket with immense skill and determination. With the right guidance and opportunities, these young players can become the stars of tomorrow. The success of players like Sandeep Lamichhane on the global stage has shown them that anything is possible. The dream is no longer just to play for Nepal, but to be the best in the world. The development of infrastructure will continue to be a priority. The completion of new stadiums like the one in Chitwan will be a game changer. Having multiple international standard venues will allow Nepal to host more international matches and even bigger tournaments. This will not only generate revenue but also inspire more people to follow and play the sport. Imagine Nepal hosting a major Asian Cricket Council tournament or a tri-series involving test-playing nations. That is the next step. Better facilities across the country will also ensure that talent is nurtured everywhere, not just in the main cities. The ultimate dream for every Nepali cricket fan is twofold. First, to see the senior men's team qualify for the 50-over ICC Cricket World Cup. They have come close in the past, and with the team's current trajectory, this dream is well within reach. Qualifying for the World Cup would be the crowning achievement of this golden era of Nepali cricket. The second part of the dream is to one day achieve Test status. It's a long and difficult road, but it's the ultimate recognition in world cricket. It would mean joining the elite club of the top cricketing nations. The story of Nepali cricket is a powerful lesson in passion, perseverance, and national pride. It's a story of how a sport can unite a country and give it a unique identity on the world stage. The Rhinos have charged their way into the hearts of cricket lovers everywhere. The players, the coaches, the fans, and the administrators have all played their part in this incredible journey. The foundations are strong, the talent is there, and the passion is undeniable. The future of Nepali cricket is not just about winning matches. It's about continuing to inspire a nation. The next chapter is waiting to be written, and you can be sure it will be exciting.